Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and as you can see from the title of this video, we are in for a little bit of a different video than what I normally make. I haven't made travel content in a long time, and New York City content is obviously like my main thing. Also, I feel like there's like a lot of background noise going on, so sorry about that. Riley's working on a bone. The walls on this place are very thin. But anyway, so it is, what is today? Wednesday, July 6th, I believe it is, and I have the week off from work. My company shuts down the week of July 4th, so I decided to travel not over the holiday weekend, but during the week, so I could get like the cheapest price and like less busy than the holiday week, to Cape Town, or what am I saying, to Cape Town? To Cape Cod. I'm tired, guys. So essentially about a month ago, I was like, I've always talked about the fact that I'm so close and accessible to so many places in the Northeast from New York City, but I never actually leave New York City because I love New York City so much. But now that I have some time, I have a little bit of disposable income, I was like, now's the perfect time to start doing some traveling outside of the city to some different places. So I looked up like dog-friendly places in the Northeast, and Provincetown, Massachusetts came up, which is on the very tip of Cape Cod. I was like, this seems perfect, let's do it. And I decided to make it a little solo trip because like a lot of people don't necessarily have off the whole week of the 4th, and I just kind of want to be able to do what I wanted to do. So it's definitely been an adventure already. I was going to start the vlog yesterday, however it was an awful travel day, like one of the worst I've ever experienced, possibly the worst. It could have been worse, I'll say that. But essentially how I got out here was I rented a car from Turo, which I've never used before, but that part was actually a really seamless experience. I picked up the car from this person in Jersey. It's sort of like Airbnb for rental cars. However, I did not get out of Jersey before getting hit. Someone rear-ended me, which I don't know what it was. I think it's just my HSP 6th sense or something, my spidey senses, that I felt like something bad was gonna happen on the car ride. But I decided to go anyway because you can't live your life out of fear. So essentially we were driving and about to like get onto the George Washington Bridge, so it was like a super busy area, and cars like sped up then stopped all of a sudden. I slammed on my brakes and then someone slammed into me and you know, behind me, so it was her fault. She should not have been as close to me as she was. It was really scary, obviously, especially because I had Riley in the front seat and he kind of fell forward onto like the floor mat essentially, but everyone was fine. Riley's fine, I'm fine, she was fine, and my rental car wasn't too bad. She actually had a rental car and hers was a lot worse than mine, but still drivable. Both cars were still drivable, so honestly, all things considered, it could have been so much worse. And like her insurance is taking responsibility. I paid for insurance through the rental company and everything, but I shouldn't be responsible for it at all. So all of that to be said, yesterday was a pretty awful travel day because that added a couple hours. So it's supposed to be a 5-hour trip. That added a couple of hours because one, like we had to do the police report and everything, and then two, I'm emotionally stunted and needed to pull off to the side of the road afterwards. I just like could not get back on the road right after that. I needed to compose myself, so that added a lot of time. So I didn't even get out of the city until like noon when I picked up the car at 9:30. And then most of the trip was pretty just like smooth sailing, like highway driving, but we did hit traffic a couple of times. All of that being said, I left at 9:30 and got here at 7 p.m. and I was supposed to take 5 hours. I was supposed to be here by like 3 or something, but we got in, got checked in at our hotel and everything. And then we did get down to Commercial Street is like the main downtown area here, so we went and grabbed dinner there. I say we as if like I include Riley in my we. Anyway, so I broke my vegetarianism and got a lobster roll because when in Cape Cod, right, and it was delicious, and I was starving at that point. And then we just walked around, walked along the beach. My hotel has access to a beach, so we walked around there. So just got like a lay of the land, and now it is the next morning. All that being said, we're still gonna have a great day hopefully because we're here, we're doing the thing, we got here safely in the end, and Riley's having a time already. I've talked for way too long, so let's get into the day and I'll keep you all updated with what we're up to. But I think I'm gonna head, try and find a coffee shop and walk around the downtown. Probably gonna like spend a lot of beach time later. It's my plan, but I don't have my swimsuit on or anything right now, especially because it's a little bit chilly still, so I'll come back for that. My suit is from Lulu's with these high-waisted bottoms. My shorts are from Princess Polly, and then this is just thrifted. And someone is ready to go. Alright, just picked up this wrap from East End Market, which is just a short walk from our hotel. I like that our hotel is pretty close to most things. You can either drive really quickly or walk. Where, since I'll post this after we're gone, we're staying at Surfside Hotel and Suites. Not the nicest, but nice enough, and it was more affordable than a lot of options. So now I think I'm gonna try and take us to Herring Cove Beach. So most of Provincetown faces more inward to the Cape, but then it's all really close to the Atlantic facing side. So this one's more on the Atlantic. So yeah, and it's getting really warm out. It feels pretty warm, so I feel like it's beach time. And just gonna have a pretty chill day. Brought the long lead for Riley, brought a couple of books, plenty of sunscreen that I need to put on, and we're gonna have ourselves a little beach day.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us. If we just hold on tight, this vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore.
We are obviously back in the hotel room, but we had a lovely afternoon, well, day. Got there late morning. So Herring Cove is actually part of the National Seashore, which I didn't realize, which is like a big set of beaches on Cape Cod. It was a really lovely beach, very clean, and just like the right amount of people. Where like there was definitely like a good amount of people, but it wasn't super busy. Also great weather, like perfect beach weather, where it wasn't like so hot that it was uncomfortable, but still warm enough to like go in the water a little bit, even though the water here is pretty cold. But mostly just lay it out. I can already tell I'm sunburned, even though I put so much sunscreen on and reapplied it tons, but just laying out on the beach like that for several hours does it to me. Riley had a good time too, because my guess is it was his first time at a beach really, unless like somehow he had an experience with that in Texas, like because he was like kind of afraid of the waves. Like he kept barking at them, and I think it was because he was afraid of them, because oftentimes when he is afraid, his first response is to bark, and he's so small that I feel like they could knock him over, so maybe that's part of it. But he loved laying out in the sand. He just like overall seemed super content there, like ready to take a nap, which is why we stayed for such a long time, because we were there for several hours. And I did a couple of times pick him up and bring him into the water with me, and he was okay with that. So I feel like he felt safe in it with me, but didn't want to like go in by himself, which was interesting. So, and then we left once I was getting sunburned and we ran out of water, and I could tell he was getting a little bit hot. Now I think we're gonna head back into the main downtown area. I want to maybe do a little shopping. I don't know, we'll go into some of the stores, because yesterday I walked around, but I didn't really go into a ton of stores besides the dog store Riley dragged me into. So might get a few souvenirs, I don't know, and then eventually find somewhere to get dinner, because now it's 4:50, so not dinner quite yet. but gotta start thinking about it in a little bit, and that's where all like the main restaurants are. So I don't have any place in mind right now, but I'm sure we will find somewhere. This dress from American Eagle, which is from last summer, I think, but super cute. Actually, the same color as my swimsuit. This is my favorite color. I don't wear a lot of color, but if I'm going to, I'd like it to be this one. It is the end of the day. It's literally only 9 o'clock on the dot, but it's been like, I mean, we've been going for like 12 hours basically. So I think there is a nightlife scene here, but that's just not the vibe for me on this trip, I think. As you can see, my sunburn is already developing, but we walked around, did some shopping, and then got dinner. Dinner was a weird experience. So far, solo travel has been really good experience, like for me personally, just like personal growth, having a good time, getting to decide what I want to do. The only time so far that has made me feel weird were like when I got in the accident and I just wanted to hug my mom and dad, but that's just like a very weird incident. For the first time like doing stuff like on the trip was tonight at dinner. So I was trying to get a table at this place that like the tables were full, and they were like, okay, like go sit over there. And then other people came up and then they were getting tables, and I think some of them were sitting inside and I obviously had to sit outside with the dog. So eventually I got a table by talking to this couple that was there asking about Riley, and then they pretended that I was their niece, which was really cute and sweet and wholesome. But that was like how I got a table. And then the server like basically ignored me, did the absolute bare minimum, the worst service I've ever had in my entire life. So 1, don't go to that place, but 2, I feel like it was because I was alone, because they weren't like, it didn't seem like it was like that with other people. The hostess, like, I don't know, said something like passive aggressive to me about like putting Riley on the other side of the table. Like, just such a weird experience, and I feel like it was because I was alone. I mean, I can't think of another reason other than just like random coincidence, but like why would they not treat me well otherwise? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I just felt weird because I was the only one eating alone, and then just because of the way they were treating me, like I'm still a paying customer, and they definitely like wanted me out the door pretty fast. That was just like abysmal service. And just because someone's alone, like I feel like people who aren't confident with themselves feel uncomfortable with people who are confident being alone, if that makes sense. Like I would feel comfortable, I in general do feel comfortable being on my own. It's only because other people I feel like were uncomfortable that then I felt uncomfortable, you know. I think it should be totally normal to just like go and have a meal. And I wasn't even by myself, I was with my dog, and I was just like people watching and stuff. And honestly the meal wasn't even that good, so I'm not going back there. But overall it's been a fun day besides that experience. Good morning, friends. It is now day 2 and Riley is ready to head on out. He is just like, let's seize the day. He also might have to actually go, but we're gonna do a pretty similar day to yesterday. About to go head out to a coffee shop, and then go to the beach in a little bit. My sunburn is very, very bad. I feel like you can see how like red I am, but we are rallying anyway and gonna have a good day.
Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
We had ourselves another lovely little beach day. You can see my sunburn coming through. So we kind of did a similar thing to yesterday. I was gonna go to a different beach, but then we pulled up and they said they weren't allowing dogs today, and I guess it like changes day to day. And so we just went to the same beach we went to yesterday because that one is dog friendly, and we actually saw some of the same people, which was kind of nice and wholesome. People are super nice here and everyone loves dogs. Everyone is a big fan of Riley for the most part. He has gotten like so many treats when we're in town, and then just like so many people like ask me questions about him, want to say hi to him on the beach and in town and stuff. So all of that has been good. Definitely dog friendly town for sure, which is good since that's why I picked it. I think for this last evening here, I was trying to think about like what haven't I done, and there's a few things, but I'm not gonna get to all of them, especially with the dog. But there's a lighthouse that I haven't seen yet because it's sort of on, I think it's the west end more, and we're staying more on the east end. So I'm thinking about maybe trying to drive down there and then get some dinner and then go watch the sunset at the beach we were at, because on the side that we're on we can't really see the sunset that well, versus where we were earlier on the beach you can, and we paid for like a day pass there. So I'm like, you know, we might as well use it and go back.
I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh, we are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that we've got, and when we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the shore.
So we are evidently home, and the trip back was much smoother and we made good time, but it was still a long trip, a lot of driving for me, but very good to be home and home safely. It feels good, and if nothing else, traveling definitely reminds me like that I don't know, it makes me appreciate living in New York as like my home, because it's like it just feels like home to me. I think it's important that wherever you live should feel like home, and that you miss it when you're gone, you know. I didn't get a chance to vlog this morning because I was in a rush. I was worried about hitting traffic and whatever and making good time. So this morning I grabbed breakfast at this place called MATCHA, which was really good. I got an acai bowl and a strawberry matcha latte. Both were delicious, and then we hit the road. So that was all we did today. But I just wanted to do like an overall opinion. I liked Provincetown. I wouldn't say I loved it. Like, I would go back, but I'm also not like I'm in a rush to go back, you know. Also, I have my shirt on, but I think it was a good place for like dog friendly, definitely super dog friendly. That was great. And then if you identify as LGBTQ, a great spot for that. That wasn't something that I necessarily talked about a ton, since I don't identify with that, but it was super cool to like see such a LGBTQ friendly place. And definitely if you do identify with that, you should definitely consider going, I would say. And just overall, like, it's a cute spot on Cape Cod for sure. It's just that like it's pretty far since it's all the way at the end of the Cape, and then I think I'm just like too type A, so I think I did book a good amount of time of like only spending like 2 full days there, because definitely there's not like that many things to do. I wish that I had gotten to go to the museum, but it just didn't make sense with the dog. I didn't want to leave him in the hotel room because of his separation anxiety. He might have been fine, but I didn't want to like risk it just because the hotel walls were really thin. There wasn't that much to do, but I did like Commercial Street. That was like the main downtown area, and then like the beaches. So overall, like, definitely a fun spot, but I'm not in a rush to like go back necessarily. And same with like solo tripping. I feel like it was a good experience, but I'm again not in a rush to do it again, just because it was kind of a lot for me. I feel like it was just like a lot to do all that driving and then have to like be making constant decisions about what to do, weirdly enough, of like decision fatigue is very real. So I don't know, I feel like it was a bit draining and just like overwhelming, but that's also just like me as a person. I think I liked the whole trip in theory more than like certain moments in execution. Certain moments I did, like, oh my gosh, it was so fun playing with like Riley at the beach. Like, he loved the beach, like that was so fun. That was probably the highlight of the trip, I would say. And then just like exploring a new place overall, and just overall the ambiance and like the cute cottages. I feel like that was like a big part of like, I just like being in a new place and like feeling the atmosphere and experience and vibe and everything. So certainly like such a cute, wholesome place overall. And I just wish it was closer to New York and then it wasn't such an effort to see it. So I think next time I'd maybe pick somewhere a little bit closer to New York. But I'm so glad I got to go to Cape Cod for the first time and take Riley to the beach. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I know it wasn't my typical content, but let me know if you have any questions and if I should do more trips like this, and subscribe if you're not already. And